Yo ho ho! What's going on, guys? This is Grim Reaper, bringing you guys a One Piece special. In the wake of the upcoming One Piece draft, I posted a top 30 list from about 10 months ago, I believe. And Naya here calling me creditless as fuck, along with a whole gang of creditless niggas. So I updated the list, and we're here to break down what's going on. What's up, Naya?
What's good? Yeah, I'm sorry. Pharaoh at 30. There's no way! There's no way. There's literally no way.
Oh shit, bro. Oh shit. The list wasn't that bad, bro. Like,
I didn't know it was old, but like I said, even with this list, there's really only one thing that's offending me. One thing, one character. Everything else is like, I may not agree, but you could probably argue it. We'll go through them, but like, all right, we'll get to that character. We'll get to that character.
All right, best. So let's start at the top then, I guess. You know what that. So I know y'all can see both listing right now. The one on the left is I did it in diagrams, cause, well, basically, I don't necessarily think that like these characters are just gonna get fucking like bodied by the one above them. So I put them in a Venn diagram circle instead, because I feel like anybody can beat anyone else. It was good, Eagle.
I can't hear him.
Yo, can you hear us?
I don't know. Just get over now.
All right, bet. So y'all can probably see the top 30 on the screen and shit. So every nigga that's inside of a box can beat every other nigga inside of the box. And then they obviously have their rankings next to one of the numbers. There are a few characters on the list to the left that I didn't put a number next to. That's because I either don't give a fuck about what their number would be. There's too many for just 30, or I really don't give a fuck. Like Rayleigh, Sudo, Sengoku, and Garp, I just don't give a fuck about them. So I just didn't put them on the list. But they would obviously still be within that box that they're in. But on the right, we use the actual ranking system and shit. So I'm gonna go through the top 5, and you tell me if you say that's just stupid. Big Mom number 1, Shanks, then Blackbeard, Kizaru, and Akainu.
I actually generally never have any issue with like the top tiers for most people. Like, I don't care which Yonko you put first, really, or like which admiral, really. I would put Akainu over everyone, personally speaking, in terms of the like admirals or fleet admirals or like that. And for the Yonko, Big Mom is fair because I feel like she's got the biggest showcase we've seen. So we've seen
exactly.
something from like fighting giants at like age 5 and shit like that, where it's like you can't really like, you could make the argument that everyone else is strong in there, but like let's just say Big Mom fought Shanks or Big Mom fought Blackbeard or whatever. No outcome would shock me. If they're like Big Mom won, or Kaido won, or it was a draw, no outcome is gonna make people like, what the fuck, how? Like, I'll be like, yeah, okay. Like, that's fine. So I really don't have any issue with that. I would have Kaido in the top 5 though. I wouldn't put Kizaru above him. But I like the Kizaru respect. That's my favorite admiral. So I like the respect. I like the respect though.
I can respect you putting Big Mama at number 1 because there's almost no argument for me to make that Kaido is even more durable than Big Mom from what we've seen.
Exactly.
Like, she has his main outlying ability as something she's just had from birth.
Yep.
And I don't know if anybody else interpreted it this way, but when they were on the Denden Mushi, before Wano,
yeah,
she was talking down to this man. Yeah. She was like, look, he was like, yo, if you come here, I'll kill you. And she was like, yo, you welcome to try.
But you owe me, you know, like.
Straight up, like, and I got this like
let's get along by the old time, like the old days. So
exactly.
It's like, yeah.
So bet that's really it, because it's not like Shanks ain't strong. It's not like fucking Blackbeard isn't strong. It's just that, like,
yeah, Teach is my Yonko. Like, that's my nigga, but he's on the come up
for me.
Shanks.
Teach is the most terrifying person in the verse right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then Shanks is that dude, but like I don't like the narrative that how the fuck did he stop Kaido when he's a dragon? Like you don't know what happened when he was on the Twitter report. This guy could have been like, yo, I got some Henny from East Blue, bro. Check this shit out. And Kaido got turned and went away. Like you don't know what happened. Like I'm not trying to hear that narrative. You don't know what happened.
And also, Kaido's objective was to go attack Whitebeard while he was busy. Shanks wasn't busy. Shanks was fresh. He stepped to that man and was like, yo, you can fight me if you want. And Kaido was like, nah, that'd be too much to deal with right now. Like, I was trying to hit a man from the backside. I'm not trying to fight you fresh.
But yeah, I don't have an issue with like the top tiers you have on your list.
They're all extreme diff.
Yeah.
Well, I wrote that asterisk too right next to the Eagle if you want. In the top 30 text channel on Discord is where I have the list. But
I looked at that on the Twitter. I seen that, and the only thing I thought was a little wild was where Katakuri was at. I think you had in parentheses the numbers they could beat.
Yeah.
Katakuri, you had that he could beat both of the people in front of him. Why not just put him at 14 then and slide them down?
Because the list was predicated on the most amount of people that you can beat. Like for example, Katakuri, yeah, like no doubt Katakuri may be stronger or like maybe stronger than somebody that's above him, for example. But it's all about like who he can like, who in particular he has a nerf or a hacks against. Like the future sight shit, like we all know shit can work for whoever and shit. But certain niggas can just deal with that. Certain niggas can just do certain things that I don't think he can overwhelm. But that's
okay. So hold on, real quick. Is your list with your list? I actually like that you did that. I think that's a cool thing. I never seen a list where like they would have in like parentheses who you think they can and can't be. Because usually I just cover my bases by just being like, generally speaking, that doesn't mean that someone higher could lose to someone lower. I do that lazy little thing so like people can't really be like, whoa, what the fuck? Like no, like matchups matter. Like other things come into play. But like, is yours like in terms of literal overall capabilities? You think? Is that how you're doing it?
Well, like I'm gonna post the old list real fast, but like, it's really like if this individual had an instance where it makes him more impressive than somebody else overall, I'll put that person above somebody else. But if they have one particular thing about them, like for example the whole buggy thing, there's nothing in the world that you can tell me. You can tell me I'm stupid. You can tell me I'm crazy. There's nothing in the world you can tell me that Mihawk can beat Buggy. Zero things. The story has not supported that for me whatsoever. That has not been shown. But I'm not gonna put Buggy on the list.
Well, with a sword.
Yes. If Mihawk's trying to fight him with a sword, he cannot beat Buggy. He cannot. But if he gets a gun or if he gets a fucking whatever else, sure, I don't know. But I've seen Buggy dodge Kizaru. I've seen Buggy dodge Akainu. I've seen Buggy take all kinds of kicking ass hits. I've seen him take a Muggy Ball point blank face. Some shit that took out a half a city block before, bit. Like Buggy is not a joke, and he got bigger after post time skip, bit. Like. Nah. Not to mention the rival of Shanks in the beginning of the story, man. Not to mention the nigga who's fought. He has it. It's not like niggas want to play like it's stupid. No, he broke out of Impel Down, bro. By himself.
He's a beast, but for me, like the hockey diverts Luffy's blunt force immunity, so for it would have to do the same for Buggy for me. Like if Mihawk's cutting him with hockey, it's cutting him.
Let me ask you a question. Buggy's fruit.
What's up?
What does Buggy's fruit do?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are the parameters of it? Like, does it include hockey cuts? Like, goddamn.
No.
That would be OD hacks.
By definition, his fruit is a split fruit. So whenever you cut him or whenever you try to commit shearing damage to his body, it splits instead. So by adding hockey to it, you're not changing that effect. Like hockey has never been able to like turn off a devil fruit. It just allows you to touch the real body of a Logia, quote unquote, and allows you to protect your blade to be chipped from being chipped. So that's what I'm saying. If you try to cut Buggy, like slicing him, no matter what you do, it's still gonna make him split.
Yeah.
I can't remember if his ability is automatic though.
Well, and stemming off of that, like based on his ability, Buggy's the type of person who you would think is gonna get future sight. I think that way with Aokiji too. Based on the way his ability works, he has to use future sight for it to work properly.
Oh, like the whole
to see we're gonna get cut and split that exact part. That's cool.
Right, exactly. Because Aokiji has to pre-freeze his body where he's gonna get hit. He doesn't like he doesn't turn into ice. He freezes his body.
But I think that's different. That's why I think I think it's like Luffy's more not Buggy's is not like Luffy's exactly, and the constant is
So
not
is he
exactly like
holding
Luffy.
himself before he gets cut?
No,
That's the thing. That's the question.
It's literally like a cheese. Like when you put a knife on cheese and you go downward, the cheese will split. That's the exact same thing for Buggy. Like, it's not that like he's moving beforehand because that'd be crazy. That would mean that he dodged Mihawk consciously. That's not what happened.
Yeah.
He got cut.
No, he wasn't doing that.
Exactly.
He wasn't out here like that.
Yeah, he got cut 100 times. The reason why I say hockey doesn't work is because in that instance, Luffy pulled him down and then Mihawk cut him a bunch of times. Then Mihawk, being a hockey master, which we were told he's a hockey master, he always puts hockey on his blade, saw that and made a look. On the panels in the viz, there's like a weird look that Mihawk makes surprise. Then he cuts him again a consecutive amount of times. I don't believe that second attack did not involve hockey. That doesn't make sense to me. Why would a hockey master face a devil fruit user, see that he's not affecting him, and then try a second time without hockey? That doesn't make sense. That's why I say, with hockey, you still cannot hurt Buggy.
Yeah, that is a really good point. Yeah, that is something to think about, honestly. But
I want to touch on the
I'm gonna split out of here, boys. I gotta head back into work. It's about to get loud as fuck. I just
right.
wanted to pop in real quick, see what was popping.
All right, baby.
All right, yo.
If y'all are still going in a little while, I might hop back in here. But
All right,
if
cool.
not, then I'll catch y'all later.
No doubt, bro.
All right, man.
All right, have a good one, boys.
Just on the Logia thing, I think a lot of people forget that Logias have to actually turn their body into their element to dodge attacks. It's only the ones who are incredibly well trained that eventually learn to make their body turn into their respective element reflexively. You can see this where like some sneak attacks still work. Luffy rocketing into like Smoker and Ace and Alabasta. Yep. They didn't turn to that. Peckham's literally washed Caribou because Caribou was overconfident in his swamp ability, stuff like that. So it's like just being like for Aokiji, he's probably reflexive. He doesn't have to actually freeze the part of the body. He can probably just do it on reflex because he's well trained, like Smoker, like Enoru,
Kizaru, when he got shot by those people. Yep.
Yeah, so they can actually just do it whenever. Even if you think about it, like Crocodile was caught off guard by Doflamingo when he went for his head. Obviously, he didn't use hockey, and he just reformed his head in sand. So I think people forget that. I have to do that pretty often. Like Logia don't just automatically turn into the element like that. Only the super well trained ones. But sorry,
and we've only seen super well trained Logias besides one or two, like you said.
Yeah, like Peckham's is like Caribou is not. Like he's whack. Like got washed by Peckham's. Like yikes.
All right, so then what about Kaido, Fuji, Aokiji, Dragon, Magellan?
Like I said, I would have Kaido in the top 5, just because of the Yonko status, and I mean, fuck. This dude is pretty impressive in terms of what he can take and stuff. So I would have Kaido just a little higher. I don't really care where you have him in the top 5, but I wouldn't have him under Kizaru for sure. Personally, I like the Kizaru respect, like I said, because that's my favorite admiral, or even I think Marine in general. I like the respect, but I wouldn't have him that high, personally speaking. For like I said, for me, for the most part, for the admirals, they're interchangeable. So you having Fuji over Aokiji doesn't bother me. It probably bothers somebody else, but it doesn't bother me. It's fine. Now the dragon thing is iffy for me, because the thing about Dragon is I can come up with so many reasons why Dragon is obviously strong, and I don't think he's weak. But at the end of the day, I have seen him do nothing but stare in the direction of his house and talk. I never seen him do anything, so I won't have him on my list at all personally. Because yes, he's part of the Monkey family. Yes, he's the most wanted criminal in the world. Like fucking Luffy's his son. Like come on, like that bloodline is clearly fucking monstrous. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's so many things you can be like, yeah, like he's Revolutionary Army, yada yada yada, obviously. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm kind of old school. I just want to see it. Until I see it, I'm not going to just give him all the credit. I understand the Dragon fanboys are probably gonna yell at me right now, but listen, until I see him come and fuck niggas up, he's not on my list at all. I'm just not gonna put him there. Same thing with like Green Bull. Yeah, you think I don't think Green Bull is OD strong? But I haven't seen him do anything. He just said I didn't eat for 3 years. Like I have no feats. I don't know.
Oh shit, man.
Cause like I'm starting to understand like kind of like when Brago and I guess his camp talk about like portrayal in the story and stuff. I get it. I understand it. It works to a certain degree. Like I don't know. But I just like for me because of how much comics I used to read and stuff and how we basically like hey, even like Taizai. With Taizai, I can actually be like, yo, Zeldris was unconscious for 0.8 seconds, needed 1 second to reactivate his power, and got blitzed by Rusiel, which means, even though we already know he's faster, he can move faster than light and whatnot, that means I know in a split second, he can react and slice somebody that fast. That is a calculable feat that I have on screen that I can use in the argument. I can't do that for Dragon. You're just telling me to use my head cannon, so I'm not doing it.
Agreed. And I struggled to keep him on the list because, like I said, with Garp and Sengoku and those guys, like, this nigga really hasn't been relevant in terms of fighting. Like, why do I care how strong he is at the moment? So,
the thing about Sengoku and Garp, though, is at least with Garp, we have him versus Don Chinchao, who can like split the fucking islands open with his head, right? And we saw he practiced by obliterating mountains and literally punched the deformity into that nigga's head and fucking nerfed him forever.
That was also 30 plus years ago.
Yeah, it's true. Fair. I'll give you that. Like, he's obviously not in his prime, but he's still OD, right? He has his portrayals, the hero of the Marines, yada yada. He used to chase Roger around, and also him and Sengoku did stop Shiki from rampaging in Marine Forward. So at the very, with those two though, I still have something to go off. Is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
It's not nothing. It's not nothing. It's in his prime. It's pretty little. I mean, he smacked the fuck out of Marco, but like you know, like there's more things for me to latch on to. Like, yeah, he did this, he did that. I've seen this. I haven't seen the whole fight, but at least he stopped Shiki. And Shiki was a renowned pirate in the Whitebeard Roger era, so he wasn't a scrub. So, you know, but yeah.
Well, I do got him in that second box with all these other niggas and shit. I guess it's like I said, like the niggas just like you pointed out, they're strong as fuck. All of them are strong as fuck. But in terms of like who's gonna like put out what we need, who's gonna like affect the story physically, I think they're past that point. But yeah, like it's like we said, we just keep moving on. All right. So then, what about Magellan? That's the last guy in the top 10. You disagree with me with that, or what's up?
This is hard for me because I fucking love that you're putting people disrespect this man, and I don't know why, but they slurp the fuck out of Shiryu, and I'm like, but I'm like, I mean, as far as I was concerned, their portrayal was like in Impel Down was pretty even, right? Because like they're both like the warden and the jailer. Like, if you are the person whose job is to be in charge of like level 6 criminals and stuff like that, you are OD. You are strong. You are fucking someone that can be trusted, right? And I think what happened was this with Shiryu joining the Blackbeard Pirates, becoming the second Titanic captain or whatever the fuck they're called, the second fleet, whatever. They just kind of started to give M Bison with a sword, the jerk, like yeah, he's the greatest, like kill everyone with a sword. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy the Viver card data book was like, despite what people may have seemed, Shiryu feared Magellan.
Yup.
He feared him.
Yup.
He feared him. Put respect on his name. Put respect on his name.
Because he deserves it, bitch.
He's a little high for my liking, but he definitely should be on this list. And I would have him neck and neck with Shiryu, but above Shiryu.
My thing is that this is the one individual that sparked the entire idea for the numbers on the side. Magellan made a good amount of people on this list run from him. There are other people on this list who can't beat or deal with those people. That covers all the boundaries of what my categories were. Like, you either have to be stronger than somebody, or you have to be able to beat somebody who's stronger than you. Magellan has done that for people above him. He's number 10, and he's beaten people above him. He's cleaned people below him. Groups of niggas on this list have tried against him and ran instead.
He had the whole jail running from him.
The entire, bro. When I say there's not one nigga who's been scarier in this series than Magellan, we have to talk about that, man. Like, you would have to bring up crucial examples to beat that argument, that there's not been one nigga scarier in this series than Magellan.
Nah, I'm fucking with the respect you're putting on him though. He's still just a little high for my liking, just because I haven't seen him use hockey and stuff yet. Mm-hmm. Not that I doubt he has it. But he's OD. Like, and he has various types of poison. Like, come on. Come on, that man go. Big go. He done a
he just like
oh my goodness.
Oh my shit, God. That was classical, man. Alright,
man, it's crazy. Like, and it was like, fuck. what was his demon called? Hell's Judgment.
No,
The Venom demon.
Venom demon.
That
Venom Demon. It was Venom
Yeah.
Demon.
Ooh, that shit crazy.
like
That
it
shit
was.
crazy.
Oh my gosh!
I
Like
love it. He's got like different types of poison that like poison like tear gas and stuff like he's more versatile than he seems. He's not just like got one type of poison kind of guy. So it's just I don't know.
bro,
People do disrespect him, but he's definitely in the upper echelon of mine.
he can level up his poison to an acidic form. He has a poisonous gas that he can spew through gum. All you do is spits it at you. It comes fast and it's poisonous as fuck. Hello, you guys there?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. My headphones freaking up. He often uses his Hydras more defensively than offensively, or just as much. So he's coming after you with them shits and blocking all kinds of like champion and jet attacks from Luffy and shit like that.
And he usually coats himself in the venom, so just touching him is dangerous.
Just touching him is dangerous. He's literally like nutting poison from his pores and shit, bro. Like that's the best. It's like nutting. He with himself has blocked several of Luffy's jet attacks with the champion covering on it, so we know how strong that can get. He himself took his horns off and he was offensive with that shit, trying to stab and fuck up Luffy. Broke the walls with one jab and shit. Like this nigga's not a joke, man. He's not whatsoever.
I do want to say one thing though. He's a lot more dangerous in the close. In an open environment, I don't think he's as dangerous.
I disagree with that. I think if you were to give Magellan a rating of 10, that inside of a place he would go to a 15, and then outside he's still out of 10.
I mean, all right, but it's still not as good as inside. I'm just saying he's not. I just think he's trash outside. He's not as effective. It's definitely a lot harder to beat him in a confined space.
Yeah, because he can make his poison breathable at that point. If you breathe it, then you're affected by it.
Well, that's how gas works in general. Like you guys are making it seem as if like when you're enclosed, no doubt, when you're enclosed, it's much more effective for gases like that. But you can get poisoned by gases outside all the time.
True, but to like Naya's point, if you're on the outside, you have to take in the wind direction. And let's say let's say he does sprout his poison gas cloud. Well, if the wind is taking it in the direction away from you, it's not very effective.
I like that you brought that up because I agree that being outside would have more variables, so that would make it more difficult. I agree with that. Okay. But still though, bro, y'all niggas ain't finna downplay this nigga, bro. It's Magellan out here, bro.
Oh no, I mean I'm one of the guys right along who always says, and probably only because we didn't see it pre-time skip, but I mean I'm thinking of the possibilities of this guy post-time skip, like how much more powerful has he gotten, because he stepped down because he felt he was such a failure, but he probably did some mad training right after that.
So, they also had to have jumped him.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. You had to get jumped by Blackbeard. What was the only other nigga that got jumped? The only other two niggas that got jumped by Blackbeard were Sengoku and Whitebeard. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, his potential of killing is just so freaking high. Like, he can one-shot you. Like, it doesn't matter about your like fighting spirit. Like okay, Luffy fought even though he got poisoned, but eventually he was going to pass out anyway, simply because he touched him. So it's like his potential for one shot is probably the highest in the series.
Besides maybe Big Mom's like scare shit, she like sneaks up on you or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know about one shot, but he can definitely easily put you at such a huge disadvantage with simply you touching him or one move. Where it's like, okay, like just with that you fucked up. Like, he's kind of one of those people where it's like you don't know what if you don't know what he can do, he's just dangerous to fight the first time. Like Law, like fighting Law without knowing his ability is just a hard time for anybody.
Yeah. Even Hawkins, like they even showed it that Hawkins did so well against him strictly because he recognizes shit. Like two panels of him recognizing Law's ability, and then he was able to like even it out because Law took advantage of that shit. The first interaction, he got a hit on that nigga.
Exactly.
All right, keep going down.
Yeah. All right. So next we got from 11 down, Ivankov, Enel, Kuma, Mihawk, Ben Beckman, Shiryu.
And all's too high.
NL's way too high in my
I
opinion.
know it's too high.
It's too high in my
Vankov
opinion.
is a little hard for me to judge, but I'm gonna say he's too high too. I don't mind Vankov being on this list, but Vankov's just a little too high, I would say. Oh yeah, a little too high.
Ivankov beat Kuma.
Hmm?
Ivankov beat Kuma. And fought Magellan. Head on, one by one.
Yeah, I'm good on Kuma. I like Kuma. I really like Kuma. He has my favorite ability in the series. I guess after Hawkins or tie with Hawkins. Kuma's hard to judge because it's like I have to think about him as a cyborg, him without his like consciousness, and there's a lot of things to consider with Kuma. But I would say most of these guys are too high except for Beckman and Mihawk. The Eneru thing, I understand it. I get why people think he's a lot stronger than he is because I feel like Oda does a good job where it's like someone may lose to Luffy, but it doesn't really change.
I like how you try to sneak that in. People think he's a lot stronger than he is. Shut the fuck up, nigga. Explain your shit.
I'm literally explaining it.
Uh-huh.
I'm going into it. Where like Oda's good at when like a character loses, right? You don't actually have to be like, well, they're just super irrelevant now. It's like, no, what they can do in the overall One Piece universe is still very impressive and important. I use this argument with Crocodile, where like I don't think Crocodile should be on this list, top 30, even though that's literally my favorite character. But people like to be like, well, that's a pretty good Luffy, so he sucks. But like, okay, but did you not see what he was doing in Marineford? Like, clearly he's not a scrub. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not weak. The people underrate him because of the Luffy thing in Alabasta, but at the end of the day, he was clashing with Mihawk, he was clashing with Dofi, he was doing his thing in Marineford. So put respect on his name. You can kind of do that with Eneru just because it's like, yo, you really ran into like the worst possible matchup. But at the end of the day, with the advancements of hockey and whatnot in the New World, I don't think he's gonna perform as well as people think he is with hockey in the New World and whatnot. At the end of the day, I don't know how he's improved, and I can't judge that because I haven't seen it. I can only go off what I've seen, right? I know it's observation, but that's really it. And it's like we've seen better observations. So,
Bro, the thing is, like, if I were to just go off of like, because let's if you take just what he did, like no hockey involved, not using his hockey or whatever, his feats are number 4 through number 6 rank. The niggas in number like Blackbeard, Kizaru, Kaido, they have feats similar to Enel. Like, Enel doesn't have feet similar to them. They have feet similar to Enel. That's how that is. He's done exceptionally more than they have. He's destroyed exceptionally more than they have. He's fast. He's exceptionally faster than they are. He's literally died and then come back.
The thing about the Raigo is that he needs to arc Maxim to do it.
I didn't say just a Raigo. I did not say just or I didn't point out just a Raigo. That's one of it. I agree. That's his island level attack. He takes out islands with that, but no other nigga here is close to taking out islands. Kizaru has the most impressive attack here, and then Kaido right after that. And matter of fact, Fuji may be in between those two guys too, because he moved the entire city, and those things are not even close to like what the shit that he was dropping, bro. He was dropping fucking El Thors for fun, bitch.
Yeah, I mean his Eldor ability, his pure DC ability, unless it's Kairoseki, it's getting destroyed by Eneru. Like we saw him, and everyone wants to say, oh, it was clouds. No, he was destroying structures with Eldor. Apart from Arc Maxim, he was destroying things easy. Now, in the scheme of the New World, the only reason why I think he's too high because I don't think he really stands a chance against Katakuri. I really don't. I think Katakuri washes this guy in a fight. But that's neither here nor there. I just think that for me to have Eneru at 12 over Beckman,
over Luffy,
and over Mihawk, yeah, and even Luffy to even a degree.
Like Luffy with the elemental advantages and hockey, like we're not doing.
Well, I put the
he's beating his fucking ass. We're not doing that. Beating his ass.
I put story info next to Luffy on the list.
Yeah.
Because of all the story I
did. I noticed that.
Okay, well, I don't know. I think Eneru probably top 30, but I'll have him like lower end.
I would put
maybe 30.
I would put Moria over Inoru
Gecko Moria?
Whoa.
simply because he used to be a rival of Kaido. I would put him over Inoru simply for that fact.
Agreed.
I mean,
but
but current Moria.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't.
Lazy zombie Moria.
Well, you got to think of it.
he's still strong
You
as
got to
fuck.
think of it. You
You know
got to
what?
think of it.
With the shadows.
Moria
though.
allowed Luffy and them to leave Thriller
Yeah.
He allowed it.
He gave them back the shadows.
He gave them back
They
their
didn't beat
shadows.
it out of them. Yeah.
You know what? Go into the new world and see how it is, kid. So he allowed it. He didn't have to
Yeah.
give it back. Luffy and them could have died right then and there.
He
That's
actually
the end of One
he
Piece.
actually had his island level castle fall on them, and he tanked that shit.
No, they couldn't have. There were
I'm-
Moria wasn't beating that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But I'm saying the context of
I'm
his,
glad you're not disrespecting Moria because people do that a lot. I like
Uh-huh.
that. Like I said, respect is good. I'm liking what I'm hearing. This isn't the calm and brain dead debates I be having, but we're not doing that. He wasn't beating Luffy.
No, you got me fucked
saying.
up. Hell no. I think till this day, Moria will give Luffy a tough as fuck fight. Till this
of
day,
course it would.
No, I don't know about that one.
he
I
can.
have to see. I have to see how he improved.
So if let's say you're standing there, right? You're standing 50 meters away from me, Naya, or away from Moria or whatever. He can just teleport behind you with his doppelganger. Send his shit wherever and then be wherever. Let's say he sent his doppelganger to the other side of the island, right? And he walks up to Mihawk, right? Mihawk fucking slash to the sun. Floop. He just send that part of the body all the way around, dodge that shit, and then fucking smack Mihawk in the mouth right in between that slash. Sure, Mihawk will tank that shit, get back up for another slash, but he'll just do that again. Or he'll leave the fucking island, go to where his shadow is, and then start manipulating his shadows around Mihawk and start attacking him, make him fight shadows and shit. Sure, he could deal with that, but this nigga doesn't have to be around you to fight. This nigga can make his shadows sharp. This nigga can put you inside of a box, downsize the box, and then smash the box. Luffy survived only because he was rubber. Like, this nigga's broken.
And then we come to one of my biggest issues with One Piece, where it's like, if Gecko Moria has been to the New World, there's literally no reason why he shouldn't be able to use Haki. So it's like, that's just trash to me. So it's like,
Okay.
without at this point with me, I can't, like, without the Haki, I don't think you are. I think you need that in the New World kind of thing, where it's like,
To be at this level, or
it's such a like bare minimum requirement to be able to fight in the New World, to the point where it's like, I think people forget that people who like just fight just use Haki in general because it adds a offensive potency to your attack, and you can mitigate the damage you take by defending with it. Like, you just need it in general. Like, it's just like, him and Crocodile had no business not using it since they've been to the New World. So you'd be like, oh, Brickback, black box, you smashing it, haha, he's dead, he's rubber. I'm like, nigga, you should have Haki. Why is he not dead or like out? You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying. I'm not gonna give him that just because I don't think that his actual reflexes and his physical speed itself is that fast, but he can teleport around with the doppelganger. That much is true. But he hasn't proven to me that his literal like swing speed with his scissors and X, Y, and Z are fast. It's like Luffy has showed me, like, you can put poison on him, explode it, and be like, oh, that was close. And that nigga is fast. So we're not doing this. He can react. He can react.
You use that instance, and I'll accept it. Like his sword swings like that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But
I like that we're not disrespecting Moria though.
all right, we just move on from there then. All right, then that was all the way down to 16. All right, so 17 and below. Starting from 17, it's Katakuri, then Sabo, then Marco, then Vista, then Jinbei, then Moria.
I'm okay with these until we get to Vista, Jinbei, and Moria. I still think Moria's too high. Fuck, I love Jinbei, but I don't know about that one. Jinbei's like, it's like a wild card. Like, it's like I feel like Jinbei is incredibly hard to beat if he has like the right amount of water, or he's in the body of like if he's
Jinbei was gonna fight a kind of him,
and he's in like the pool of water Arlong is in. Like, you ain't beating Jinbei. Like,
you're not.
That nigga raw.
I mean,
I love Jimbo though. So he took that cognac swing he took from Big
Bro,
Mom.
he stopped the cognac, bro.
Jinbei.
He stopped it, just stopped. She had to try twice, but she's type shit, bro. Like,
but she was skinny and weakened though, so it's like like there's so many asterisks. There's so many asterisks.
Man, fuck out of here, bro.
But
there's an asterisk on that feed.
there are asterisks, but it's been confirmed by the Vivre card that Akainu has the strongest potential attacking power in the entire series, and
Well, he's in
Jinbei
the highest
blocked him
tier,
twice.
highest tier.
Yeah, and Jinbei blocked him twice.
Like he
So-
just literally just stopped that shit. Like he stopped the Magma Fist.
He stopped it.
I'm okay with Jinbei being on the list, but I can't have him above Luffy. Just because of what I've seen Luffy do and what I've
Oh
seen Jinbei do.
no, I think that's concrete. I think Jinbei right now is stronger than Luffy all around.
I think I believed that until I saw Gear 4. That's when I could even like when you on Fishman Island when they traded blows, I was like, ooh, it's looking kind of even still, you know, like even after the training. But I don't think he beats Gear 4, personally speaking. I think Luffy's too low.
I think Luffy gets bodied until he gets into Gear 4, and that's when it turns into a fight.
I actually agree with you that Luffy's base form needs to just be better in general, so he can just fight. Like he can't keep relying on Gear 4 and stuff. Like his base form needs to just be stronger in general. That's why I agree with that.
Yeah,
But I haven't seen Jinbei prove that he's faster, stronger. So it's just like based on what I've seen in the story.
Well, hell yeah, he's stronger. He fucked Watasume and then Big Mom. And caught the mag. That's what I'm saying. Like these things are not just.
But
Go ahead.
Luffy has a lot of strength feats. Like even like from being in a bad position, stuck between two buildings and just pushing them shits apart. Like he's got a lot of just pure fucking muscle strength feats.
He
Like,
technically has more than anybody else in the
him and-
series.
Him and Zoro have a lot of. Like I tell people, like I actually think that just in pure raw muscle power, I would say he was even stronger than Katakuri. But Katakuri just better in everything else except that and in endurance. I would say like overall vitality. I would say category was lacking, but that stems from him always winning his fights with, I guess, relative ease. Because even if we hit him, like, because anytime I hear someone go like, "How long has it been since I got hit?" I'm like, "Oh, bro, you probably about to have a glass jaw." You know, like you don't.
I
get hit
mean,
often.
it did only take Luffy 13 punches to knock out
It
Katakuri.
was stupid.
Yeah.
Lowest durability yet. Lowest durability. That's
Yeah.
why I have him this low on this list because of his durability.
Yeah, his durability is trash.
I'm okay
I
with
mean-
Marco. I'm okay with Sabo.
Yeah, me too. I'm okay with Sabo at the 18 still because he has a lot more potential to go through
Yeah.
until the until the end of the series. So I'm fine with him
And I
at
think Sabo was
18.
already incredibly powerful without the Mera no Mi, and I think I actually like. I'm not gonna say I believe this, but I think you can make the argument that he's actually a little worse because he has the Mera no Mi because he's trying to figure it out. He's like, what the fuck is this fire shit? You know, like it's kind of hitting him a little bit. I think when he masters it, he's gonna be OD strong, but I felt like he was still trying to figure shit out as being a Logia. So
I see exactly what you're saying, but
I'm not gonna use it as an argument. I'm just saying I feel like you could make it.
yeah,
But I'm not
Okay.
gonna say that. But like, yeah, but when he's like really settled up the Mera no Mi, he's gonna be a problem though. But yeah, I'm okay with Sabo and Marco being where they are. I think people disrespect Marco a lot, so I'm okay with him being here. I want to actually ask you why you have Vista here though, just in general.
All right. So every other person on this list or in that range has overall fighting ability. Like Vista has overall fighting ability. If you're anybody in the series, you have to fight Vista seriously. But the fact that he was able to like square off and then like stalemate with Mihawk is why I don't have him lower. If you notice, I didn't put Jozo on the list. It's not because Jozo wasn't strong. It's just that like these individuals are just edging him out. And if you look on the left side of the screen, we do have Jozo on the bottom of the Venn diagram. He is in this box with everybody else. But like, it's just the fact that he went head on with Mihawk. That's literally it. If not, he would not be over Cracker. Cracker to me should be able to deal with Mihawk. The way he uses strategy against Luffy, any swords would have the toughest time in the world against that strategy. Where instead of fighting you head to head on after that endeavor, he then uses a strategy of overwhelming numbers of strong warriors who also have the ability to dodge and attack on their own individually and as groups, and then he sneaks attacks amongst those attacks as well in those tactics. That's amazing. Like that's why Luffy it was so difficult for Luffy to get past that endeavor. Not because of the fucking water and shit. The water wasn't fucking nerfing Cracker. He could remake his soldiers and shit. It was the fact that Luffy kept going and had to keep endeavoring and dealing with all these shits. That's why it's such a problem. So my entire thing is that Vista was good enough to stalemate the strongest nigga we know in terms of swordsmanship.
But I don't think Mihawk was really trying. And Mihawk was like thinking about other shit while he was
I mean,
clashing with him. I don't think he was underestimating Vista. Like, oh, this is a wash. I can easily get past him. But I don't think he was like, now I must use all of my power and focus on Vista because he's
I mean, well, in the context, Mihawk was the one who asked for the parlay. He was like, "Hey, can I deal with you? Can we fight later?" He said because it would be beneficial to both of us. Mihawk wanted to go after Luffy, but he couldn't because Vista was in his way. Now, if he could have outright schooled Vista, then why didn't he just do it? Why didn't he just ask? Why did he have to ask for the parlay?
That's what I'm saying. It's not that he's just gonna be like, okay, one slash and you're gone. Or like, when he beat those two Akama, like I don't remember the insect I crush. It's like he still had to put an effort. I don't think it's to the point where it's like super incredibly difficult where he's gonna be like all bloodied after the fight is said and done. But he can't just chase Luffy and fend off Vista. That's kind of how I saw it.
That's the only thing I have a problem with what you said, Naya. In this entire stream is the fact that when it comes to him, we could give him that benefit of the doubt, but the story literally said that his power knows no restraint. That he was trying to kill Luffy. He was trying to do that. Then, out of all the other times where he's seen individuals or seen things that you would think the strongest swordsman would be intrigued by, like somebody who could block his blade or a material he can't cut, like Josu's diamond, he did not continue to endeavor after those situations. He just let it be. So I can chalk that up to his laziness, sure. But then when it comes down to a person who literally, in every single form of fiction, in real life, and in every form of biography, a person with the title of the strongest swordsman in particular, not the strongest man, not the best soccer player, the strongest swordsman is a position that's challenged, that you hold up, and that is always put towards scrutiny. Somebody comes to put towards scrutiny. Mihawk literally says, I haven't ever fought you before, and he knows about his style. He's heard about his name. And it was obvious that was an official duel. It was gonna be the start of an official duel. They had a stalemate. Nobody had the upper hand. And now we're just assuming that Mihawk was gonna win. I don't believe that. That was an official challenge. Like why should I just believe that Vista was just gonna lose there? That was an actual challenge of the title. Like, you were gonna see the outcome to that. Sure, Mihawk, you could give him the probability of winning because he was already had the title, but why would I just assume that Vista was gonna lose? That was an official challenge. That's my stance for it.
That's fair, but I don't think he was gonna win though. I'm not giving you that based on what I've seen Vista do, and what I've seen. Like Mihawk's casual strikes were looking casual as far as I'm concerned. Like fighting Luffy. And I mean, he obviously has held back. If he sliced Zoro with all his might in East Blue, Zoro was fucking dead. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, like he definitely held back a little bit. He's not always going all out without restraint.
Bro, I'm just saying, bro. Like, if it says it literally, what can I believe then? Like, if I gotta like, because like just like you said, you gotta show me where it fights with absolutely no restraint. Well, I can really show you that. I'll just do it later off turning, but yeah.
Fight that for me. I don't remember.
That's the story, Grim. He says my power knows no restraint. That just means that Mihawk has reached a point within his swordsmanship that even if that he tries to hold himself back, that it's not possible. Like, so let's take Zoro for example. He can cut through Pika, a mountain-sized rock. Right? And we know that someone like Zoro always flipping the blade just before he lands a critical hit on them, because otherwise he would have killed them. Now, for someone like Mihawk, who is like 5 times the swordsman Zoro is, even if he switched his blade or tried to do something that would restrain his abilities, he'd still end up killing them regardless. That's what he means by unrestrained.
I don't believe that. Because, like I said, if I were to take that, that means that every person in the series is holding back, even though they say they're not holding back. That's what I'm talking about. That's the fans' interjection into what they see or to what's being shown. I'm not gonna tolerate that in my opinions anymore. That is just wrong.
I'm using using like the logic or the mindset of these swordsmen. Mostly using the concept. Or the context of the war itself.
Yeah, but you can say that forever. At the end of the series, you'll be able to say that still. So when did Mihawk use his full power?
Yeah,
but what he's saying basically is that maybe your interpretation of no restraint is just wrong, because I still feel like there's no way
There's
If
no way.
if Mihawk wanted Zoro dead in East Blue, he was dead. He was impressed with his resolve, so he's like, go ahead.
I'm not gonna be able to not cut you in half unless I'm using like a butter knife or a little pocket knife like he used against Zoro.
What you guys are talking about is a comparison of strength. That he's overwhelmingly strong. That when he tries to hold back, he's still just too strong. That's what you're saying. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about his cap, his actual cap, what he can physically maximum do. The story told us that we were seeing his physical maximum, and you guys are telling me that, oh no, that's just his minimum, but it looks like his maximum. The story did not verbatim tell me that. It told me that it was his maximum. That's what I'm saying. You guys are forcing me to believe that it wasn't his maximum when the story told me it was his maximum. Sure, they're the same, but by using your logic, then him trying doesn't matter. If his minimum looks like his maximum, which the story did indeed say, if I believe what you're saying, then it doesn't matter if he was trying or not, because they both do the same exact thing. That's why it's clear to me that when Mihawk says my power knows no restraint in that instance against when he's chasing after Luffy, he was really trying to kill Luffy. He was doing everything he could to try to kill Luffy.
You're interpreting it like that. Okay, now you're trying to say that no matter what he does, he's always going to be at that level, no matter what. He can't control his strength. No, it just means like, yeah, he's reached a stage to where he can't find a way to hold himself back with depending on the weapon that he's utilizing. But that doesn't mean he's using everything he has against that person. Otherwise, Luffy would be dead.
I just realized what you were talking about now that you're saying that. I thought you were talking about an outside source that says this. Are you talking about when he goes, "I'm sorry, Red Shanks, I'm not going to hold back," and then he chases after Luffy?
Yes.
That's what you're talking about?
Yes, and the vid says my power knows no restraint.
Are you fucking kidding me? Let's move on.
All right.
This whole time I thought you were talking about someone else. Are you kidding me?
No. What are you talking about, bro?
No.
Yeah, bro. If we don't agree, we don't agree. Yeah, it's all right. All right, bet.
That ain't it.
That ain't bad.
So we're not going to talk about what characters actually say anymore then?
Because he literally said that. And then he proceeded to miss Luffy. And then in that same instance, after he said that, he cut a mountain-sized iceberg. So, what do you mean? But look. Now he said, let's move on. We've already dropped our ideas. Let's move on from that. I think we got down to morning. All right. Here's a part that Naya really got in his britches. Started from 23 and below. It's Streusen, Cracker, Doffy, Luffy, Crocodile, Kid, Boa, and Law.
Why is Streusen on the list?
Because he's a troll character. That freaking Grim was.
What you mean? He's a what? I got the feats for him. Matter of fact, if I drop these feats, bro, will y'all stop talking to me?
Okay, but okay. I want to talk about falling feats then, okay? Let's talk about falling feats.
All right. So Capone said that everybody was supposed to die from falling on the ground. Big Mom was supposed to die from falling on the ground. Oven reaches the ground. He says he thought he was going to die. Streusen reaches the ground and does not die. How is that not a durability feat?
But he's all bandaged and broken up.
No doubt. I didn't say he tanked the hit, but he's alive. People were supposed to die because of that. How is that not a feat?
I mean it's a good feat. I'll give it that much.
And because of this, he can beat Luffy, Doflamingo.
Yeah, like you're right.
Hold on, that's one dimension of the argument. You want me to ask? You want me to give you the other parts?
There's literally no way.
All right, so the chateau.
Talking about when he cut the entire cake in half with his sword.
So the chateau from the bottom to the top is longer than the length of the entire city, longer than that. Streusen went from the top of the chateau, which we know in terms of like width, like when you're standing on top of the chateau. If you look from your left to your right, it's pretty far. You can't see both sides, or you can't get to both sides very easily. He went from the center of that to the middle in terms of height. So like let's say that the chateau is 100 feet in the air. He went from 100 feet in the air to 50 feet in the air in seconds. Speed blitz. And we know the chateau is a city, so he moved from the distance, more than the distance of half of a city in seconds. Then stabbed the cake. Cool as fuck. Look badass or whatever. So we know you got a speed feat. Stabbed the cake.
I'm having a hard time entertaining this because I feel like you're fucking with me.
Okay, all right, bet. Then he turned something the size of a city into something else. So we know his area of effect in seconds is also city scale. Then he cut half of the chateau. So we know another half of city scale in terms of cutting durability into the swordsmanship.
So somebody who's on the crew of a Yonko in the New World is not literally fucking useless, is what you're telling me. That's all I got from this. He's still not impressive. That's cool what he did. Great job. You saved them and shit. But what has actually given you the idea that okay, because of he did that, that means he can be not that you're saying that he could beat everybody in the list, but that everyone under him is inferior to him overall.
What can Ben Beckman do?
Like that is my issue. You have Ben Beckman there literally just because he's a Yonko commander, do you not?
Yes, literally that's the only reason why.
Okay, I haven't seen what Ben Beckman can do. I didn't argue that just because I'm like, oh, I assume Shanks' right hand man is.
He is the co-founder of the Big Mom Pirates. When Big Mom was only strong, not super strong, only strong he was there.
That doesn't make him the second strongest, because that's Katakuri. Her strongest kid is the second strongest person in the crew.
Where did it say that?
Look at it. Look at him. Look what he did. Who on that crew is more impressive than him?
Him.
Except Big Mom, obviously.
Bro, I understand that because it's this character and that he looks old and then he didn't have a fight that we don't want to consider it like that. But don't tell me that these feats are not better than half the feats of the people on this list. Nobody's doing city scale and half a city scale shit. Nobody is doing that. Nobody is doing that. Nobody here.
Hold up, because Zoro in Dressrosa.
Oh yeah, Zoro had to be thrown to Kolkata Mountain, right? So he was in the center of Dressrosa, had to be thrown to another part of the center of Dressrosa to do an attack, right? That's nowhere near city scale. That's nowhere near half city scale. That's city block scale.
No, hold up.
He got thrown because Pika didn't want to fight him. He was
exactly. Pika kept running away from him. Two. If you remember, the size of Pika's hand in the rock form was the size of a small town. That was just the size of his hand.
Is a town a city?
All of that up in a matter of seconds.
Dressrosa, in its entirety, has several towns in it. In its entirety, it is one city's worth of material. The birdcage destroyed 90% of Dressrosa. 90% of Dressrosa.
That was after Pika's rampage.
No, but Pika was inside the birdcage already. No, the Pika was inside of the birdcage. It was already down closing, and that's when Zoro got that critical hit on Pika. After the birdcage, it was already downsizing. Not to 90%. It was probably like 40 or 30 or 50%. But there was nowhere near a full city size attack. It wasn't. His slash was. Pika may have been as big as a mountain, but that mountain was smaller than the city of Dressrosa. So I'm simply pointing out that even Zoro had to be thrown within a city's length. Not more than a city's length, not a city's length, less than a city's length. He had to be thrown to reach a target that's the size of a mountain in order to cut it. So even Zoro doesn't have feats like that.
Whoa, hold up. Pika was bigger than Rose Hill. Pika was bigger than Flower Hill. He was bigger than the entire city.
Were those hills not inside of the country of Dressrosa?
Big Mom Chateau was inside of the city of Whole Cake Island.
No, it wasn't. I mean, Big Mom Chateau was outside and bigger than the city of Whole Cake Island. We see it in the anime and in the manga. That's what I'm saying. You guys, sure, she's not. The chateau was taller, and when it fell over, it covered all the entire city of Whole Cake Island when it fell over, showing us that it's bigger than it.
On the side it fell on, yes, but not the entire city, because it fell to the west. It didn't cover the east side of it.
The center of Whole Cake Island was all covered in cake from when it fell down, from one edge to the other edge.
If you go back to the chapter, I think it's 770, and you look at the picture of where it fell, there are still 3 other spires standing. It fell on the west side of the island.
From end to end, right?
The east side of the city was perfectly fine, so was the north side.
All right, I'm gonna just post a panel, and then you can check it out later on after that. Yeah. Or yeah, do it right now, yeah. Because I'm 100% sure that the chateau was bigger than the city, but we'll get down to that. Any more shit you want to expose tonight about Susan?
In length, yes, it's bigger, but in width, no.
Did I cut out?
No, yeah, I think you cut out at the end. But he said that in width.
I thought I cut out.
No, you good. What's up now? Anything else you want to say about Susan, or you want to keep going?
I don't even know what to say because I want to entertain this. I don't want to entertain this. I don't know what the fuck. I can't believe you're saying this. I can't believe you're doing it.
All right, man.
You're running with this one feat. And the thing about it is, I'm not even trying to undermine the feat. The man ran up the fucking thing pretty fast, reacted to turn it into cake with his ability. Okay, cool, nice. And he survived the fall. Not bad. Okay, that's really it.
Then Capone said, "Oh, he is a pretty good fighter, huh?"
Oh my God, Capone, really?
All right,
Capone,
all right.
Capone is smart. Capone's got a cool ability, but Capone's no fighter. Like, I don't care what you have to say about niggas with hands. You shooting guns, like you're not a fighter. Like, we're not. I'm not taking his word for that as impressive. Like this fucking like. Don't get me wrong. I loved his showcase in Whole Cake Island. That nigga raw now. I like gang J, Double Gang Sans, Big Father, like nigga raw. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, but like. I'm not giving him that. I'm not doing it. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
And I feel like anybody else would take that fall and get up.
All right. What about
if Luffy fell from the height, he's getting up. Dofi fell, he's getting up. Maybe not Cracker.
Oh, no.
Cracker's kind of a bitch. Kid, Crocodile.
Kind of. Cracker's a pussy.
Oh damn, bro! Y'all niggas gonna hate this list, bro. Because the next three, what y'all think about the next three then? Cracker, Dofi, and then Luffy.
Luffy should be over Cracker and Mango.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
It's Cracker, Dofi, Luffy. That's the next. So 24 Cracker, 25 Dofi, and 26 is Luffy.
And then 27 Crocodile.
Luffy's under Cracker though, correct?
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't think he's weaker than Cracker. I know what you're gonna say with the help with Nami, but that's like.
No. That's not what I was gonna say.
That's not the case. That's not the case anymore with what he went through with the Katakuri stuff. Like he's stronger.
That's not. Yeah, that's not what I was talking about.
I'm not gonna use that to put it. I'm not using that to say as a crutch. I'm just saying that he wasn't able to get the nudge on him. Like, you know, he wasn't able to. He had to use Gear 4 to break through the soldiers, which he just kept using over and over continuously. You know what I mean? Like if he didn't have somebody, like, yeah, you have to bring up Nami, not for the fact that he was able to soften the biscuits, but just to be able to get away. And it's in the same sense where you say, oh, Luffy had all those people carry him in Dressrosa to give him time to get his hockey back.
But Oda said he didn't need help.
Yeah, he said he could run on his own.
Yeah, he didn't need the help.
He could run around, but that doesn't mean he was gonna win without hockey. Like, you're gonna
No,
go.
that wasn't the issue. He was saying that he would have been able to basically avoid Dofi for 10 minutes to get his hockey back. The fact that Gats was there to help him, he just took it because why the fuck not?
I just think that was kind of crazy. Doflamingo with all of his hockey can't beat a Luffy who's badly injured and has no hockey of his own. You know what I mean?
My whole thing is that
just sounds awesome.
The water that Nami was using, it didn't make that much of a difference whatsoever. Like, Cracker clearly made more biscuits. Cracker was clearly able to continue making more. He just got frustrated with how long it was taking. Luffy never at one point had the advantage in the fight. Not one time.
It's not even that I'm trying to discredit Cracker, even though I think he probably has the lowest overall like durability that for a character of his caliber. I would say. I disagree. You can make the argument for Katakuri, but at least he fucking stabbed an entire part of his body off of him. And he was leaking. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and he was fighting, you know, like, I don't know. Those two, for me, should be able to take a little bit more punishment, but it is what it is. But the thing about go ahead.
Even with, like, the new, his advanced observation hockey, like, he hasn't even, like, honed that shit so he could be able to utilize, like, on the regular. So I wouldn't give him, like, the nudge and say, oh, he's gonna beat Cracker if he came back and did it again.
But see, and this is where I disagree because you have to think about how Luffy is when he comes back for a rematch. Generally speaking, when he's armed with the knowledge that he needs, he always performs a lot better. Even when he first fought Crocodile, washed. Second time, he still lost, but he figured out the weakness. When he came back that third time with the blood this time, he was ready for business. You know what I'm saying? It's like the thing about Luffy understanding the ability better with what he's gone through with improving his observation and fighting Katakuri for a long time and whatnot. He's not losing to Cracker. He's not losing to him. I'm not giving you that. He's not losing to him. I'm glad you're putting respect on Cracker, but Cracker is not beating Luffy ever again in his life. Ever.
Well, I also got Cracker beating Streusen, beating Moria, beating Vista, and beating Shiryu.
I don't think that through one confrontation with Katakuri should more like yeah, he's obviously gonna get better. He's gonna keep getting better and better, and then he will be stronger than at this point. Nah, like He's still got a ways to go.
Okay. You think he needs more fights? Like if the exact same Crocodile situation, how many more fights do you think he would need to actually get over Katakuri?
Like this,
But Luffy didn't even know that Cracker was inside the thing originally.
That's true, but like he couldn't get the fact that he couldn't get past.
But now his observation is a lot better.
Yeah, I understand that, but he has to deal with multiple soldiers and he has to break the soldiers, and his Gear 4 hasn't increased in power.
I'll actually say that the Snake Man thing that he did, that would help him a lot. But he would have to be he would need Snake Man to have a bigger advantage.
I agree with that. That would help him out. But if he can just continuously doing that over and over and over again, Luffy does not have the stamina like these other characters do to keep pulling out these impressive feats. That's just not. He doesn't.
And even when he did that, even when he was doing that, because he did that with the Kong Lord or whatever, like the soldiers were blocking and their shields kept breaking, and then Luffy was able to like overwhelm them with that, a few of them. He makes more, and then he uses those tactics to attack. So when you're fucking doing that snake shit to fucking take on a whole group of biscuits, he's gonna sneak behind you, cut your arm off again. Like that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Cracker's not dangerous because of like his fucking he's a good swordsman. The nigga has crazy tactics and he's a good swordsman.
Yeah, and I'm saying like Luffy tried to was bent on the fact that Cracker has to run out of stamina eventually, and he wasn't showing any signs of that at all. Like
yeah, he's got frustrated.
He was just like, yeah, this is getting annoying. You just keep eating my fucking biscuits.
All right, what about
Don't get annoyed. I like don't like you like the Meliodas thing like don't hold back, like that's not a scanner swap.
Yeah,
fuck?
That's true. I ain't trying to get a tie up, but I was like, nigga, what? That's not an excuse, bro.
W to W. I'm not trying to hear all that.
All right,
because I'm in the camp that Luffy's stronger than Katakuri. I know people are not gonna agree, but I'm in the camp that he's stronger than Katakuri.
Oh, I believe that too now. That's not stronger than Cracker, but Katakuri, yes. Go ahead.
But the thing is that Oda has already told us all the way back in Water 7 that from island to island they get stronger. So by default, once he left Whole Cake Island to go to Wano, he was stronger than what he was on Whole Cake Island by default.
And I felt that he showcased that very well. Mm-hmm. And the point of Kaido literally one-shotting him was to be like, look at everything he went through with Katakuri and he was able to walk away, but Kaido matched that in one fucking hit. That was the point. That was a statement.
It was.
I don't think people really took that in.
But look at the entire statement though, because that I 100% that is exactly what should we take. We should take what happened in that chapter as a comparison to their power and the difference there. But look at the first part. Luffy did wail on him. I think that you should add that to account too. Like he wailed on this character.
No, but it didn't hurt him.
You can say that.
And Kaido wasn't trying to dodge him. Here's the thing. I said this in my video, but like, okay, so it's Superman, right? Very durable, very
bro.
Just listen to what I'm saying, because this is what I'm saying, right? When it comes to Superman, right? Because he's very hard to hurt unless you have a certain level of speed and strength. You can have enough strength and speed to actually hit him backwards, but not enough to hurt him. It happens often. You're not hurting him, but you could punch him backwards with enough force. Basically, what's happening with Kaido. Kaido did not look remotely damaged, remotely hurt. He's just taking the hits, and then it's either what Joy Boy said, where like I kind of think Joy Boy had a good point, where it's like I don't know if he was kind of trying to test Luffy in a sense, but for me, I just think he was drunk. He was just getting hit, and then when it ran off, he was like, he just fucking watched it. Like, fuck out of here.
My whole problem is that we both understand and we both know that Kaido is much stronger than Luffy. We both know that when Kaido smashed Luffy in the mouth with one hit, that it was a comparison to show the difference in strength. My problem is that the entire scene was that. And we're trying to disregard or give an excuse for the first part as to why that happened, but we're not taking into account, we're taking into account the second part. That to me, especially with how you described it, Naya, is an incomplete thought. Because you're literally ignoring the fact that he did that to him. Sure, he was drunk, but why should I believe that he didn't take pain or that didn't hurt him? Like, he got back up. He didn't have scars on him, but he also didn't have clothes on him in his dragon form. He also didn't have a club with him in his dragon form.
But that's easy, because we saw him from the balloon terminal on the Sky Island skydive into the like an island on the ground and
Yeah.
get up like a mild headache, which
Yeah.
would mean which would insinuate that you'd have to do more damage than that in terms of strength in order to hurt him. Luffy wasn't outputting that much damage with his gear 3 attacks. You know what I'm saying?
But he did enough to knock him out of the form. So what does that mean?
But you don't know if he knocked him out the form or Kaido just turned back.
No,
just
I
turned
I'm not,
that doesn't
I'm not
make
listening to
sense.
the father like, oh my god, the father said he knocked him out his form. Like, no.
No, I'm not with that, bro. Like, I saw the panels of him falling to the ground in consequence of Luffy, and then him coming out of this form because of that hit. So I don't. That don't make sense to me.
To Grim's point,
I don't.
the last two Zoans we've seen in their mode, in their big mode, i.e. Jack got dealt with by both Duke, Inarashi, and Nekomamushi pretty easily. Duke blocked his trunk, and then you had Neku slam him on the ground like it was nothing.
Shunten Maru fought Kaido in his dragon form with probably Odin or another one of the three vassals of his. He's been captured several times as in his dragon form, or having a dragon form the size of a city. So I don't understand how that happens. He's lost like 7 or 6 fights outright, and he has a dragon form that's the size of a city, and he can fly. It's like
I'm sorry.
that's why I have him at number 6 on my list. Not because he's weak. It's because
that could be encompassing his entire journey. Because you can say that about Luffy. Like, Luffy's been captured. Luffy has been defeated multiple times.
yes.
And you can say that as when he becomes Pirate King that happened. It did happen. He's been captured multiple times.
Well, now
now he's
that
Pirate King.
I mentioned that he gets angry as a drunk, I just assumed like some of those times are contributing to that fact that he was just pissed off and drunk and just went up to the Marines and got arrested. And then when he finally sobered up, he just left.
That's funny.
Well, again, you have to think about his hobby is suicide, is attempting suicide.
Yeah,
that's
So,
what he
like,
does.
I think his actual hobby is recruiting, and the past 3 chapters is
I
been
would say
examples of
that.
that. Yeah,
I mean,
and that's why I think he lost through
yeah.
that. I think that he was trying to recruit strong individuals, and he would lose to their captains, like Davy back fights. Like he would. My assumption, for example, an example that I think was probably pretty likely, if you believe his theory, is that he may try and go after Katakuri or Cracker, being like, "Hey man, you join my crew, you're strong," or some shit like that. And then Big Mom was there, didn't like what was going on, and then beat that nigga's ass. He lost there. Something like that. Not saying in those exact scenarios, those exact same characters, but something of that caliber to me seems like it was likely. He was probably drunk as fuck, out doing his thing, seen fucking some strong ass nigga, fought the nigga, or whatever, or like try to convince him to join his side or whatever, and then got his ass beat by their captain. I'm not saying there's many niggas who can beat Kaido's ass in that form, but if Luffy can do this to him, niggas around Luffy's level can do this to him too. That's my belief.
I think you just. I think first, I'm gonna say I can't speak for how you're. I think you're taking the wrong thing from the chapter. I don't think you're looking at it the right.
Lead the way, bro.
I think it's one of those things where like Oda has an intent and people are taking it the wrong way. Because I'm 100% certain in my mind that he didn't hurt him at all. He possibly annoyed. There's not one like skinny rectangular panel on the right of one of the pages where he kind of looks up and his face is. I just found his expression weird to me, where I couldn't tell if the nigga just off the henny, or he's kind of just gonna take the hit to see if what Luffy is capable of. Could you hurt me? You know, kind of thing. Like, I wasn't sure. It's hard to interpret, but I can tell you that I don't think he heard it.
One of the things that, because that's just a thought that I had. It's not even confirmed, but I think that, how do I put this? Oda, in writing this arc, the arc of Wano has extreme importance to Oda. And if you've noticed, we've been receiving consecutive mature themes in succession. Whether it's the destruction of the village, the state of the village, the state of the country in general. These are things that, from what I've heard about Japan, they're true. Like, these things are actually true. So it could be that in Oda's youth or in Oda's growing up, he encountered these things in his surroundings or in his environment, and he's reflecting it into the story. So when I saw this, what my first thought was that he or one of his friends may have gotten into a fight while he was drunk or something like that, and that this happened to him. Not saying that guy was weak, but that because of this alcoholic tendency that his friend or he got his ass beat often. That's what I think it is. That's what I think that was trying to show. That, like, in terms of an emotional real life shit, that, like, you can get your ass beat when you're drunk. You do stupid shit when you're drunk. I'm not. This is not an indication on Kaido's strength whatsoever. I am just bothered when people try to tell me that Luffy didn't do this. Like I 100% I can understand and I could agree to a certain point that he didn't affect Kaido. He got right back up like nothing, bro. If anything, all he did was just make him sober up by doing this. If anything, but I'm not gonna ignore that Luffy was the one doing it.
But then now, if you believe that, don't you think that you're basically like if you could do that to Kaido, how the fuck you gonna have him on their cracker and shit? Like you're going against yourself in a sense if you believe that. Like,
Well, why?
There's no way he's doing shit like this to Kaido, but losing the cracker. Come on.
Do you think that Crocodile could like lose to Luffy back in the day, but in my opinion still beat Vista in Marineford?
I wouldn't even have. Crocodile's literally my favorite One Piece character. Wouldn't have him in top 30.
I know, yeah, that's what I'm saying. My craziness isn't inconsistent; it's consistent. Like to me, or what you call my craziness, because I'm positive the story showing these things in terms of like whether it's like Logia's indomitability in certain occasions, or like certain characters being very very tough with their techniques and strategies, or certain niggas just thinking. Like Luffy himself, he thinks often. He doesn't go into Gear 4th crazily. We see that all the time. Luffy saves his shit for the most opportune moment. He's very, very battle conscious. So I think more other characters have displayed similar things like that. Cracker's an example of that. Crocodile's an example of that. Kaido, to this moment, may be an example of that. I think you get what I'm saying. Like, I don't think Luffy's anywhere near Kaido, but when Kaido is drunk, he lets shit like this happen to him. And this did happen to him. Like, it did. Like, when you get your ass beat, you may be an amazing fighter. You can be Conor McGregor. But if you get Conor McGregor drunk and fucking hopped up off some shit, you can beat his ass. That's a thing.
I don't know. Let's just move on. I'm not going to agree with this.
I mean, to me, it all comes back to a matter of opinion. I, for one, I think Swordsman would have an easier time against Cracker than what blunt-based fighters would. That's just my opinion based off of what I've seen in the series. I honestly think Zoro would have an easier time with Pika than what Luffy would. But I mean, it's neither here nor there. I mean, I'm in the camp with y'all as far as I don't think Gear Third did any damage to Kaido, but or it wasn't effective against Kaido. I agree that it probably sobered him up, that in Gear Fourth, but clearly it did no lasting impressive damage, and if it did, then I will have to move Luffy up in the list. If I'm saying it did damage to a Yonko, then I would have to move Luffy up in the list above Cracker. I would have to put him probably in the top 15 at that point.
Jinbei did damage to a Yonko, and he's not top 15.
Oh, she
say what?
Again,
Say what
again? I don't think Jinbei hurt me. We just pushed her back.
Okay. Yeah, that's more. Yeah, I can agree to that too. He just threw her back, but he still threw a Yonko back. He still caught a Kainu's Magma Fist. Like, that's one thing that I do want to look at more so. At a certain point, and I want the viewers to look to the left of the screen on the Venn diagram list, one of these boxes can fuck with the other box. The bottom box can fuck with the middle box. The middle box can fuck with the top box. That's the story's been shown. There are niggas in the middle box who have fought niggas in the top box and are not dead. There are niggas in the bottom box who fought niggas in the top box and they're not dead. So, like, the strength disparity isn't as definite as we try to make it uniform. I agree that in most instances, like in the top Venn diagram box, if you are somebody in this top box, you're most likely going to win. You're most likely not fighting at your full strength all the time, and you're most likely going to win against most niggas. But that's not 100% of the time, bro.
I feel like when it comes to One Piece combat, a lot of the I don't know what to call them. I'm just gonna call them brain dead apes. Approach One Piece combat kind of like Dragon Ball, and that's not the case. I feel like people kind of I understand that a lot of One Piece fights can be drenched in a lot of the regular shonen tropes, but I feel like people actually underestimate the versatility of One Piece combat and how just like a simple matchup could put you at a disadvantage, right? things like status and a bounty and stuff and all that things, I think they're important. I think they generally give you a general idea of how powerful they can be in terms of overall capability, but I don't think it's the end all be all. I.e., I feel like the vice admirals, they vary in strength greatly. And two, I can say with the warlords, you could interpret warlords as like being impressive in two ways. One, oh, his bounty was so high, and he probably did a lot of shit and became a warlord. Or wait a minute, his bounty was only 80 million and he became a warlord. What the fuck did he do to become a warlord that early? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can interpret that in two ways. So for me, when it comes to fighting styles, abilities, and matchups, like Crocodile said, you never know how two abilities will interact. Like Galdino's wax was like pretty useful against Magellan's poison. You know what I'm saying? So with that, I feel like people just come with this like really Dragon Ball meathead fucking like, as long as I'm bigger, faster, and stronger, like I'll win. I'm like, yo, think about Teach, right? Think about top tiers in most of Battle Shonen, right? They usually excel at the same thing: speed, experience, power, destructive capability, yada yada. Name one speed feat Teach has. Name one. That nigga is slow and fat. He takes everything that comes at him and hits him, but he's still one of the most powerful people in the goddamn verse. And to me, that's impressive. It's not as cut and dry as people try to make it seem.
Agreed.
Like, it could come one day that Teach can do something fast, but maybe get another dub for what it is. But right now, that nigga is slow. And if you attack him, you're probably hitting him.
Stop.
That's like, well, that's depending on the character. That like, he makes up for all that speed with
his two
ability,
devil fruits
like,
and his
like,
ability.
okay.
Yeah, I got you. What I'm saying, but I'm saying like you wouldn't expect somebody that powerful to be slow though. Generally, based off conventional battle shonen is what I'm saying. Conventional.
Think about it. It's like any. He's basically like a monster in a human fucking shape. That's like the best way to describe it. It's like any boss like at the end of a game. They're humongous. They got no speed. They do a lot of damage and they do it rapidly. That's basically how Teach is at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He's not culminating like through training and all that. He's just trying to amass power.
And then I would say one of the best examples of this is actually Foxy. With how much trouble he gave Luffy, and he had no business doing that. After Luffy beat Eneru and fucking Crocodile, but Foxy's sneaky. He lies. He's a fucking cheat. He had the advantage in environment and in the game and knowing the rules of the game, and by doing that, he actually ended up giving Luffy a hard time. Also, Luffy's an ape, and the Nor no Mi is not a bad ability. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is it's just not as cut and dry as some people try to make it out to seem.
Yeah, like if you put Luffy's a simpleton, so if you put him against someone who's like a genius at fighting, he's gonna have a difficult time.
Yeah, like Miss Golden Week with her fucking paint. It's just making him do all the. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But anyways, let's continue on the list.
I think that was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, we didn't do the last. We didn't do the last. We didn't do Kid Boa, did we?
Yes, he did. He named them all. We just didn't. I guess we just didn't talk about him. I mean, to me, I think Boa is too low.
I agree. Actually,
I
think people underestimate her, but like I'm fine with them being there. But I think Boa Hancock is a lot stronger than people make her out.
She has King's Hockey. So.
Yeah, and I feel like excluding Luffy, like this is excluding Luffy, right? Every situation she's been in, she's dominated it completely. Any vice admiral stepped to her, anyone stepped to her, she completely dominates every situation she's been in. The Kuja, the Amazon Lily and Kuja pirates have shown off pretty impressive hockey pre-time skip, but by imbuing them into arrows and projectile, like they've been showing off pretty impressive stuff. Marigold and Satasonia, of course, they have their hockey stuff. Yes, Luffy was able to beat them just by overpowering them, but at the end of the day, they were showing off like pretty impressive hockey capabilities before we got to Buso and whatnot. So I feel like
I can't move her up anymore. She can.
If you give them the New World Jerk.
Yeah, because if we're giving Inaru the New World Jerk, then we have to give Boa the New World Jerk.
There's no New World Jerk here.
The Toriyama hand job.
Bro, I gave the numbers on purpose, like I already mentioned earlier. Like she's already beaten a nigga in the 18th spot, and a nigga in the 21 spot, and a nigga in the 26th spot. Like she's beating niggas.
Okay,
it's just like
I was forgetting about that part of your list.
Just the higher you go up, it gets like it's not that she can't win. It's just that like they can win too. So it's like she's got to be somewhere.
Okay. All right. I understand.
Yeah, it's really only 30 niggas.
Personally, I can't remember where I had her last year, but like I had her pretty high. But I've always been very impressed with her, personally speaking. But yeah, I mean, Struzan does not belong on this list though.
Bro, y'all niggas is like.
I'm so happy you removed Perospero because that might have triggered me to a whole new level.
No. Just with the update, the supernovas have moved up, so I gotta move them up and shit. But nah, Perospero is like, bro. Look at the list on the left, bro. Look at the Venn diagram. Perospero in the bottom box, bro. He has the most control of his devil fruit.
All of a sudden, I can't read. I don't know what Perospero is. I can't read. I don't know how to read it.
No trolling though. Like the fruits are amazing in the versatility. It's just that the people using them are completely ass when it comes to being on screen. Like being able to construct like a stairway like in an instant of that detail is actually a pretty incredible feat. Like not as in like terms of battle prowess, but just on the fact that you're capable of doing those kind of things.
All buildings on Whole Cake Island are made by the Biscuit and the Candy Ministers.
Like it's like a waste, honestly. It's kind of disappointing because if someone else actually was like down with training and using that ability, they would be actually pretty strong.
This is how I always felt about Mr. 5 and then when on me. I hate that he had that and he was flicking boogers. Oh my God, give that somebody body him and give that fruit to somebody better. I can't believe you was doing that shit. I was so fucking mad.
He was literally flicking boogers. Literally.
Oh my God. That shit is offensive to me. That offends me, bro.
All right, guys. We're already at an hour and a half. This is a quick, quote unquote, quick top 30 stream update. We'll probably be doing another one in a bit.
Well, I'll do one. I'll update mine. I'm on the blog. I'll update mine, and then we'll do one for me on my channel.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt, nigga. Like tonight, or tomorrow, or Sunday, like I'm down.
Yeah. All right.
Facts. Like and subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe. We're most likely premiering this at the moment. So if we get 25 likes, for the video, bro. Naya will write "I suck big cock" on his chest with the arrow pointing down to his own cock and shit, and he'll live react to the latest TOG chapter like that. 25 likes. All right. The first 5 people to type in hashtag
as long as it gotta be 25 though. It's over or under.
Stop.
Gotta be 25.
Hey, if y'all go over 25, Madara do instead. All right, yo. I'm gonna see y'all boys next time, man. Yo ho ho!